this till here, Jainism was founded by Rishabdeva, the Jain count Mahavira as the last of 24 preachers or teachers or Tirthankaras. The first Tirthankara was Rishabdeva. He was also known as Adinath. Okay, now out of 24 teachers or Tirthankaras, Rishabdeva was the founder of Jainism, whereas it was Lord Mahavira who is known as who's the 24th Tirthankara, and he was the one who gave Jainism the impetus. That means he gave the spread. He was responsible for the spread of Jainism. Now we move on to the next heading called Early Years of Mahavira. Vardhaman Mahavira was born in 540 BC, underline 540 BC, at Kundagram in Vaishali, that is in Bihar. Underline the place where he was born. His father, Siddhartha, was the head of the Jatrika clan. Now, we will keep doing the comparative study. Buddha's father's name was Sudodhana and Mahavira's father, Siddhartha. Okay, then Buddha was born in which year? 563 BC at Kapilvastu. Okay, and his father was the chief of the Shakya clan. Whereas Vardhaman Mahavira, he was born in, come on, 540 BC at Kundagrama in Vaishali. His father's name was Siddhartha and he was the chief of the Janatrika clan. Okay. Now Buddha's mother's name was Mahamaya and she died at the time of birth of Buddha. Now let's see Mahavira. His mother's name was Trishala and she was a Lichavi princess. Underline the Lichavi. You must have heard about this term when you were doing the Republican form of government. Okay, so she was the Lichavi princess. Her name was Trishala. Mahavira was married to a princess named Yashoda. Buddha was married to a princess called Yashodhara. Okay, and had a daughter Priyadarsana. Now Buddha had a son, his name was Rahula, and Mahavira had a daughter, Priyadarsana. At the age of 30, he gave up his princely status and take up an ascetic life. You remember, Buddha did it when he was 29 years. Okay, so nearly at the same age, even Mahavira, at the age of 30, he gave up the princely pleasures and decided to follow an ascetic life, that is sannyasi ki jivan. Okay. After wandering from place to place for a period of 12 years, he attained supreme knowledge. He was called Mahavira, underline Mahavira, or Jinnah, underline Jinnah, which means the conqueror, underline the conqueror. His followers were called Jains. Many rulers like Bimbasara and Chandragupta, underline Bimbasara, underline Chandragupta Maurya, became his followers. You remember Ashoka and Kanishka of followers of Buddhism, and Bimbisara and Chandragupta Maurya, they were the followers of Mahavira. Mahavira died in 468 BC. Underline the date. Now, when did uh, Buddha die? He died in 483 BC at Kushinagar. Okay. Now, Mahavira died in 468 BC at Pavapuri. Underline near modern Rajgir, that is Bihar. Okay, so these are the comparative studies which I took up together. Now we come on to teachings of Mahavira. Mahavira believed in leading a simple life, a very simple. The following principles were still the same. They both followed the simple life. Okay, he was against rituals and animal sacrifices. He laid great emphasis on ahimsa or non-violence. If you remember, even Buddha was a follower of ahimsa. He believed that not only men but also animals and plants had a soul, so one could not cause injury to animals, birds, insects, or plants. Man could free himself from the cycle of rebirth by attaining moksha. This could be achieved through the three ratnas or three jewels of life. If you remember, Buddha followed Tripitakas, that means three baskets, and he laid down the four noble truths and eightfold path. Now here, Mahavira, his teachings were compiled as three jewels of life, three ratnas, underline three ratnas, and they are right faith. That means you should have a faith in a right person who could lead you towards the right path. Then, right knowledge, that means whatever knowledge you are attaining, the source, the person who is giving you that knowledge, you should be able to judge that the knowledge imparted to you is correct, that the knowledge imparted to you is on humanitarian grounds. Then, right action. Once you have right knowledge, your actions should be right path. That is, you should be towards non-violence. You should be towards brotherhood, compassion, love. So your actions should be in right direction. So these are the three things he learned. Please put a tick mark on all these three: right faith, right knowledge, and right action. Now moving further. Jainism mainly aims at the attainment of freedom from worldly bonds. Jainism taught five doctrines. Now, Jainism, that means whatever Mahavira was teaching, that was compiled in five headings. All his teachings, basically five doctrines. Doctrines means the five principles which they followed. What are they? Do not commit violence. That means one should not be hurting any other human being. Jains believe that even plants and birds and animals and insects have souls, so they should not be harmed. Number two, do not speak a lie. That means they followed honesty. Number three, do not steal. You should not be touching others' property. Number four, do not acquire property. That means do not hold on to properties. Okay? Just what you need should be with you. That's it. Then number five, observe continence. That is nigraha. Nigraha means continence, and continence means that means have solace, have peace, have contentment. Contentment और हिंदी में मैं the word is जिसे कहते हैं ना observe संतोष होना, to have peace, not to go and drive for others, seek others things. Okay, अपने जीवन में संतोष का अनुभव करना. Okay, that is called continence. Then Mahavira did not believe in Varna system. He treated all men equally. Now, same was the Buddhist principle. They also did not believe in casteism. So both these religions were against Varna system or the caste system and treated every man equal as equal. Later, Jainism was divided into two sects. Just as Buddhism later on after the death of Buddha got divided into Hinayana and Mahayana, just see Jainism also got divided into two sects, Digambaras or the sky clad and Svetambaras or the white clad. Now, Digambaras observed long fast and did not wear any clothes. They were naked people. We can't even imagine we moving around on streets without clothes. But Digambaras, they did it, and we shouldn't be laughing at them that look at them, they moved around naked. No, their theme was that they have discarded any and everything that did not belong to them. They knew that they had come bare and they would go bare. God did not send them with clothes on. Nobody is born with the clothes on. So they believed that the purest way of living was to follow the God's way. And that is why they even did not wear anything. Then Svetambaras, whereas they were the other people, they wore the white colored clothes, one white, uh, what you say, a robe kind of a thing, and they wore that only. They were more liberals and wore white clothes. Clear till here? Am I clear till here? Now moving further.
Yes.
Thank you. Now spread of Jainism. Jainism spread from Orissa in the east to Gujarat in the west. Please underline from east to west, even Jainism spread in India. Also in south as far as Mysore, and in south it spread until Mysore. It also spread to Gujarat and Rajasthan, where the followers of the Shvetambara sect lived, and Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, where the followers of the Digambara sect lived. So now they have also demarcated that in Gujarat and Rajasthan, there were more people who followed Shvetambara religion of Jainism, that means white cloth people, whereas in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, there were the Digambara followers, the skin clad people. That means they only had the skin to carry themselves on. Mahavira and his followers taught in Prakrit. Now, see, again, both Buddhism and Jainism, they became very popular religion because they were understood by the common people. They were taught in the local language. आपसे मैं हिंदी में कोई चीज समझाऊं वो आपको ज्यादा समझ आती है than to just quickly use heavy words of English and tell you. So earlier, the other religions were in Sanskrit. The Hinduism was in Sanskrit, which was a tough language which could only be understood by the priests. So now came this religion which was easily available for common people to understand because it was taught in a common language spoken at that time, and that was Pali and Prakrit. So even Jainism was taught in Prakrit, underline it, because that was the language understood by the common people. All religious texts were written in a form of Prakrit called Ardha. Underline this, Ardha Magadhi. Underline Ardha Magadhi. This was the language spoken at that time. Now, if you remember, Magad was a powerful Mahajanpada. It was a Magadhi language, Ardha Magadhi, half Magadhi language. Is this much clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so we stop
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
For today, we stop
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I could not send you the